So I was going to do your blog, but then I decided couldn't really be bothered, topic wasn't worth it. The topic, the paths through Wandsworth Common in southwest London, but then I was passing along those paths anyway, so I thought maybe I could just chuck something down, a little bit of ad-libbing. I'm not very good at ad-libbing, as you know. I have no external microphone, so this might all turn out to be utter rubbish that is unwatchable. But anyway, so these shared paths through Wandsworth Common, in which folk are trying to make a controversy out of this situation on the London Cycling Campaign site and locally here in the park over Wandsworth Borough's plans to remove the white line down the middle of this path. Now this is it's a standard 3 metre wide shared path. You see them all over the place. They're the standard Sustrand style thing, and in this case they are segregated into two 1.5 metres each for pedestrians and for cyclists. The council want to remove this line now. It's getting a bit worn out, but also because they think that it encourages ownership over parts of the path, and that encourages people to go too fast. It encourages people, it sort of makes cyclists feel that pedestrians must get out of their way and all this sort of stuff. They cite Sustrands indeed in favour of removing this line. Sustrands have removed any segregation from pretty much all of their paths. They used to have it on the railway path in Bristol. Utter failure there, because obviously you can't get lots of cyclists passing each other in 1.5 metres of space. Now, folk locally, however, have just sort of on their own initiative decided to fight this. They think that the money spent on removing it is a waste, but they also feel that it will reduce clarity, it will introduce different kinds of conflict, and obviously it will be bad for blind people, disabled people, and it will generally undermine the feeling that cyclists have a right to be here. And so I saw this, and I was going to blog on the topic to sort of try and work out where I stood on this, whether I was with the Wandsworth folk or the Hackney folk or whatever. And my overall conclusion was that this was really yet another case of bald men fighting over hairstyles, really. Because the fact is, the problem isn't really with these paths in the park at all. I mean, they're not a great design. 1.5 metres for cyclists in both directions is utterly ridiculous. But even so, the big problem is not with the park. Problems in the park, if there are any, are merely symptoms of the real problem, which is that this park, like anywhere in London, is surrounded by utterly ridiculous streets and roads. They vary from the absurd 6 or more lanes wide of Trinity Way to a whole bunch of little residential streets that Wandsworth have attempted to sort of traffic calm with random islands and pinch points and build outs, without any attempt to actually cut down on through traffic, to encourage the traffic to stick to the main roads that are actually able to cope with them sensibly. And so the issue is that Wandsworth Council and indeed TfL have utterly failed on the streets and roads surrounding the park, so if anyone wants to cycle in towards town, towards Clapham Junction, pick up Cycle Superhighway 8 and go into the West End, they come through the park. They won't use the roads and streets around here. And if anything's creating conflict in the park, it's that. And that's really what the local campaigners from London Cycling Campaign ought to be looking at.